Hello, my name is Karen Rash. The title of my presentation is Trauma Impact in Classroom Strategies. The title of my research paper is Trauma Impact on Child and Adolescent Brain Development, Classroom Strategies to Help Students with Trauma. In this short video, Maddie explains that her traumatic experience came from putting down her dog, her family dog that she had known all her life, and how she struggled paying attention in class. Lizzie shares a more severe traumatic experience where she was in an accident at the age of 6 and ended up having to use a wheelchair for the rest of her life. While both traumatic experiences varied, what could we as teachers do to help our students overcome trauma? This presentation will give you some strategies, and I do encourage you to go back and watch those very short videos on the girls explaining their traumatic experiences. Trauma impact on brain development. The prefrontal lobe, the prefrontal cortex, are responsible for various functions, including planning and thinking. Sosa explains that trauma to the frontal lobe can cause dramatic and sometimes permanent behavior and personality changes, including loss of speech and difficulties with memory. Neuron development is actually another area that is crucial to child and adolescent brain development. There are windows of opportunity in which children and adolescents are susceptible to environmental factors in creating neural networks. So, the idea that environmental factors impact young people really does tell us as teachers what we need to do to create these positive learning environments for them. Adverse childhood experiences, better known as ACEs, have a tremendous impact on future violence and victimization and perpetration and lifelong health and opportunities. And research has shown that the more ACEs children and adolescents have experienced, the more negative effects their learning may have. So, to better help with these trauma factors that these students come into our classrooms with, there are 5 classroom strategies that we can try to better help our students with trauma. The first one is informing students of brain development. They are eager to know what goes on inside their heads. These brain activities can not only engage the students, but reaffirm that the school is a place where teachers and students are working together to get a deeper understanding of the teaching and learning process. One way that we can implement this into the classroom is actually an idea found in SOSA on page 37, where students will use their fists to represent the human brain. And we can then teach them what their brain's approximate size is. And, they can spread their palms to represent the limbic area. And this metaphor is excellent in showing them how exactly their human brain and functions work. The second strategy would be to provide structure and consistency. Teachers find that students feel greater commitment and are more likely to adhere to the norms if they help formulate the rules and consequences. So, one way that we can implement this in the classroom is having a social norm contract. And there's more information on this particular activity on the AVID website. I myself have done this where I have students work in small groups to help create the classroom norms that we're going to have all year. And then as a whole group, we come together and we all vote on the norms that we want. And at the very end, they sign those norms to show unity and agreement. And I take the opportunity to explain what a contract is and why they have to abide by it. The third strategy is offer choice. Students' learning profiles refer to ways in which they learn new material and concepts most effectively. Teachers should get to know their students' learning profiles in order to provide a variety of assignments with the same end goal. So, the classroom implementation may look like having a multiple intelligences questionnaire. And I did put the link down there if you are interested. I have my students at the beginning of the year answer this 56 question survey. They submit to me their top 3 learning intelligences in a quick write, and they explain why they think these choices really represent the way they prefer to learn. And then throughout the year, I go back and refer to that so that I can assign those specific learning preferences to those students. The fourth strategy is to develop strengths and interests within the students. So, teachers have enough experience in the classroom to know that some students don't feel very good about themselves. Teachers can build their intrinsic motivation by recognizing their efforts and successes. So, one way that we could do that within the classroom is positive reinforcement through specific feedback. So, students will feel encouraged to develop their strengths and areas of improvement when teachers give them the time in giving them specific feedback. Throughout the course, we have learned that positive reinforcement and praise should make students feel good about their hard work and dedication. We need to make sure that students understand that we are acknowledging the hard work, effort that they are putting in when completing these assignments. If we give them specific feedback, then they know that we are interested in developing their strengths. And the last classroom strategy is establishing positive relationships. And this actually goes back to the two videos that hopefully you will go back and watch. Basically, having these positive relationships with our students is very rewarding. And one way that we can do that is implementing circles, or some call it restorative circles. Basically, students would sit in a circle as they get a prompt from the teacher to discuss. It could be something that has to do with the class, it can be something more of a social emotional issue. But students can utilize this talking piece to ensure everyone gets heard without any interruptions. It helps create a positive, welcoming environment for students to share feelings and experiences without the fear of judgment. And this is a great opportunity to build those relationships. That is it for my presentation. Of course, there are many other strategies out there that we can implement, but these are just 5 that would go very well with students that have had traumatic experiences and events. These are all the references. I highly encourage you to go back and watch those videos. And that's it. Thank you.